Greetings and salutations, friends. I am Nimithrander, and we pick up right where we left off, helping Tlassoli with making dinner for us.
No one's come to deliver the ingredients yet. Paimon thought we'd see someone come flying down on a Yunkasaur as soon as we came out.
A messenger from the Scions of the Canopy wouldn't be flying here. They usually come climbing down the cliffs nearby. No need to look. There isn't anyone on the cliffs.
So, should we keep walking then?
I just saw a ghost.
Ghost? What's this now?
Hey, you there. Sorry, but does Tlassoli live around
She
here?
does.
Oh, are you the one who's supposed to deliver the ingredients?
I don't see any ingredients. Are you not the courier?
Ingredients? Are you kidding? I was nearly eaten myself. Never mind that now. Those monsters are still hot on my heels. Please, you've got to help me.
Very well.
Xilonen, where'd she go? Whoa, she's already gone up to fight the monsters? Let's go help her out!
Well, itty bitty Tepetlosaur. Part of the fight here, huh?
Bow your head.
Strike a pose! Go as one!
All right.
I guess I'll pop up for the aphid event.
All right. That should be it for the monsters. Yeah, it was easier than I thought. Oh, it also seems we're in good luck. The goods weren't damaged either.
Strange, we didn't see any monsters on the way here.
You must have terrible luck, my friend.
Yeah, right. I use this road to deliver goods all the time, and I've never been attacked like this before. It's the main road in and out of the tribe, so people often come here to clear out any monsters. This area is usually very safe. I don't know what happened, but it seems like all the monsters around here have gone berserk. Even the docile Tepetlosaurs are in a frenzy. Tlassoli doesn't even forge ancient names anymore, so why can't she just move back to the tribe? If she comes back, Nachko will even be able to find some playmates. She's so young and hasn't even... Nachka's playmates. No, wait, I feel like my kids have played with her before. They've even told me about Nachka's favorite game. If I remember right, it was... strange. I always remembered it before. How could I forget all of a sudden?
Look at that! He has a blaze gem inscription too!
So luck shouldn't be the problem.
You should go back to the tribe. It seems like you had quite the scare today. We'll take the ingredients back for you. I'll carry these bags, and you two can carry the rest.
Sure thing.
If you say so. Thank you so much. I guess today's just a really bad day for me to go outside.
That's so weird. Why is everyone we run into today having trouble remembering
And
stuff?
they're all carrying blaze gem inscriptions.
Paimon's not sure how to say it, but she's got a strange feeling about this. Like it's all somehow related.
Once you live long enough, you'll eventually start experiencing strange days like this. Let's bring the ingredients back. Otherwise, we won't have anything to eat tonight.
I wouldn't be so quick to write this off if I were you. Yes, as I said, there is a disturbing pattern emerging. And I hope it doesn't get worse.
Settle down.
Okay. Bit of awkward positioning there.
Qualified after all.
And why are you attacking it? Yeah, you're just blasting a torch over and over again. Hold on. There we go. It also strikes me that I have yet to actually see Nechka. I saw a brief image of a girl in a flashback, but I've yet to see Nechka in the flesh. We know where her room is, but that's it.
Ah, you're finally back. What took you so long? I was starting to worry.
Oh, yeah, we ran into some small problems, but everything's fine now.
Alright, as long as everything's okay now. You all have a seat. I'll get the food ready. It won't take long.
Whoa, there's so much tasty food! You're amazing, Clasoli!
They were all pretty simple dishes to make. Don't be shy. Dig in, everyone.
What would you like to start with, Paimon?
Paimon will help herself. Paimon will have some of this, and this. Oh, and this!
Ooh, yeah. Can I get another serving, please?
You're done already? Do you even chew when you're eating?
Of course! Didn't I say that I chew up the fish bones? I'll have just one more fish and leave the rest for Nechka.
It's okay. Just go ahead and eat all you'd like. Nechka can't eat these dishes anyway. Her body is too weak to digest these kinds of things. I'll just make some broth for her.
Oh no, but Paimon thought she'd already recovered from her illness.
Injuries caused by the abyss cannot be undone. The doctor said the fact that she's stable is already quite a miracle. But it's okay. Nechka can talk to me now and can even hold my hand. That's more than I could ask for. Even if she will never again know that I am her mother.
What?
What do you mean?
The doctor said the abyss has had an irreversible effect on Nechka's soul. She's lost all her memories from before she was injured. The doctor also said this sort of memory loss isn't like simply forgetting something. Rather, she can no longer remember anything from before that fateful day.
Huh? But how does that happen?
You know about the woven scrolls that the Masters of the Night Wind use to record things, right? Well, generally speaking, forgetting things is like when the woven scrolls would gradually start to fade. As long as you repaint and weave the threads again, the faded memories will come back to life. But the case of Nechka's memory loss is as if her woven scroll had been cut in two, and the portion of the past was burnt to ashes. The books she loved to read, the flowers she took joy to grow, and the time she spent in this house were all cut off by the abyss, and can never be retrieved again. As one example of that, Nechka now only sees me as a strange, unfamiliar auntie who claims to be her mother. She's a good kid, and doesn't want to upset this lady who's been taking care of her so much, so she still calls me Mom. But I've always had a feeling that she's constantly wondering about things like, where is her real mother? Why is she stuck here in this house? Was she abandoned? Nechka really has no idea that her real mother is right in front of her, and has never left.
So you plan on recreating Nechka's woven scroll all by yourself?
What do you mean?
Or should I say, you've already started reweaving that scroll long ago.
The Blaze Gem inscription. Let me guess. You've been taking the memories of Nechka from everyone who knew her, trying to piece together her life again.
The delivery guys. I saw it hanging from his waist, so I asked to borrow it from him. Don't worry, I'll return the inscription to him once we've figured everything out. These things aren't cheap, after all.
When did you know?
Yeah, I noticed it back when Blaze Gem inscriptions suddenly became popular among the tribe. It was then that I also noticed that everyone wearing Blaze Gem inscriptions had varying degrees of memory loss. Traveler, you've picked up on it too, haven't you?
Everyone's memory loss had something to do with Nechka. Like I said, you're using other people's memory of her to reconstruct her life.
Accessories made using ancient names forging techniques. For what's only supposed to be a pretty souvenir, this inscription contains a phlogiston engraving with a truly overkill level of complexity. The shapes and patterns of these engravings are also identical to that of an ancient name. By making just a few slight adjustments to the layout and connections of the main pattern, you can pretty much qualify this Blaze Gem inscription as a bona fide ancient name. And yet, you've never told anyone about these engravings in the Blaze Gem inscriptions that can be activated at any time. Am I right, Auntie?
I knew you were a sharp one, Xilonen. That's right. I have a way to cure Nechka and restore all her memories. It's actually quite simple. I want to forge an ancient name for Nechka that contains all of her past memories.
You're just going to make an ancient name for Nechka. But ancient names must be approved by the Wyeb. So how is this going to work exactly?
And the reason they must be approved by the Wyeb is because the memories they bear are all stored within the ley lines. Extracting those memories from the ley lines requires the Wyeb's assistance. But your plan wouldn't need you to do any of that, right, Auntie? Your Blaze Gem inscriptions will help you complete that part of your plan in the ley line's place. You will use the inscriptions to form a massive memory bank for Nechka. And the ancient names you're trying to forge will be used to extract corresponding memories from the memory bank.
A memory bank? Wait, so the reason all those people were having trouble remembering stuff is because the Blaze Gem inscriptions took away any memories related to Nechka?
Even though Nechka has forgotten her own past, her life was still witnessed by other people. Yeah, it's exactly what I said it would be.
Using other people's memories of Nechka to reconstruct her past? This is the first time I've heard of such an idea.
You've seen through my plans, Xilonen. You're as outstanding as ever. Far more brilliant than me. I intend to use this method to collate all the memories related to Nechka and allow her to regain her past again.
But wouldn't extracting memories like that hurt the person carrying the Blaze Gem inscription?
Not at all. Every time a Blaze Gem inscription extracts memories, the process is under my precise control. That way, there's no chance of anyone in the tribe getting hurt.
Apart from all of them suffering memory loss.
This is the central inscription that controls all the other Blaze Gem inscriptions, which will also soon serve as Nechka's ancient name.
You made all of this yourself, Tlasoli?
Even though it's not an official ancient name, that's still a lot to do on your own.
Yes, it was lots and lots of work. It was truly exhausting. Or perhaps I've just grown old. You saw it yourself. I nearly fainted just from being in the sun. I could collapse tomorrow, or even in the next few moments. But Nechka's ancient name is still far from completion. I've solved the issue of storing memories, but I still don't know how to connect Nechka up to this central inscription.
I thought you'd just modify your own ancient name.
I considered it, but this matter doesn't have anything to do with my ancient name. It's of no help to me, and I don't need its help now.
You know the price to pay for making something like this.
Yes, I do. But as long as I can get my Nechka back, I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
Unless I'm mistaken, you won't be here anymore, Tlasoli. So you won't be getting Nechka back. And I suppose here goes one of my hopes. That one of those tragedies that's been alluded to might be averted by Tlasoli taking Xilonen's place. But it looks like Tlasoli is already committed to another ancient name.
Otherwise, Nechka won't have any chance of reclaiming her past once I'm dead and gone. She won't remember me, and she won't even remember why her name is Nechka. When that time comes, she will be left to drift around the world all alone, unknowing of where she came from or where she should go. She is my daughter, the one to whom I gave the Nechka name. Whether it be as her mother or as a name engraver, I can't simply stand by and let her name disappear.
Xilonen!
Let her decide what to do. We are the outsiders here. It is not our place to say.
I'll take the central inscription with me. I'm going to completely disassemble it to confirm its components and uses, and I won't make any promises until I've checked everything. Say goodnight to Nechka for me, Auntie.
Oh, wait. I've also finished inscriptions for the Traveler in Paimon. Let me fetch them for you.
Didn't we just establish that this is kind of a trap to carry these things?
I'm sorry it took me so long to finish them.
Hold on, Auntie. The Traveler and Paimon have never met Nechka before, so you can't draw any memories from them.
That wasn't my intention. They're just ordinary gifts. Please, take them.
Huh? What was that noise?
Nechka must have woken up and wants to get out of bed on her own. Sorry, I'll go check on her first. Nechka, don't try to get out of bed. Just tell Mom if you need anything.
You go ahead and take care of Nechka, Auntie. Let's go, Traveler and Paimon. There are a few things I want to tell you.
And what would these things be? I wonder. Thread-like whispers completed. Alright. Yep, still have to do this, so I'll be getting around to it. Yep. Wonderful. Oh, and it's the... It is in fact the new event that's blocking me at the moment. Now, going to enable focused experience. So that we can get this underway. Without having to derail this entire thing for...
Let's head back to the tribe first. There are some things I need to get from my workshop. Disassembling the central inscription? It's not going to be easy. All right.
a nice touch that the Statue of the Seven also restores phlogiston too. Mighty convenient, that.
You two can wait outside for a moment. I just need to go in and grab something. The workshop is a little messy, so unfortunately, I won't be able to show you around.
I would still like a look, all the same.
Oh, yeah, that's not really what I mean. It's not the mess that's really the problem. It's just that the workshop is cluttered with way too much stuff. Books, files, and even ancient texts I got from the Masters of the Nightwind. Everything's piled up to the ceiling. You probably won't know where to step once you're inside. Kachina suffered quite an unfortunate series of events the last time she went inside. Well, I suppose it was my fault for being so focused on searching for information at the time that I forgot to lock the door. After entering the workshop, she was shocked to find herself face to face with a massive woven scroll from the Masters of the Nightwind, and then she turned around and knocked over a huge stack of forging blueprints. She tried to step out of the way, but tripped on a poster tube that was behind her, and then boom! The forging blueprints came crashing down right onto her head.
Oh no!
Well, we know Kachina didn't die from that, but that must have hurt all the same.
She's lucky I noticed in time. I found Kachina in a daze and managed to save her before an entire set of the history of the Children of Echoes was about to bury her. I then dragged her up to the second floor. Ever since then, Kachina always waits outside the door and doesn't dare take a step in whenever she comes to see me.
Are there really that many books inside? I thought a workshop was supposed to be full of tools.
Yeah, you're an artisan and craftswoman after all. We thought there would be weapons and armor hanging all over the place. But it seems more like a library than a workshop.
Weapons, yes, there's definitely lots of weapons in Natlan, but armor? I don't think I've seen a single person wearing any real armor. Maybe bits and pieces here and there, but most people are half naked. Again, I get it, Natlan is hot, but... blimey, even the Knights of Favonius, even their, general guards running around Mondstadt are wearing a lot more armor than any warrior from Natlan is. To the point where it's almost silly to refer to Natlan as the nation of war, when Mondstadt has better armed soldiery than anybody in Natlan. Ay.
Well, my primary work is forging ancient names, which is much trickier than making swords and tools. Aside from the necessary craftsmanship, I also need to consult many ancient texts. You probably already know that each ancient name represents a certain spirit, behind which are countless related stories to support it. In other words, the essence of an ancient name is the physical manifestation of a certain spiritual will. And as a name engraver, when I'm working on a new ancient name, I'm not only trying to give it a physical shape, but more importantly, I'm also trying to understand the spirit contained within the name. And to do that, I have to collect as many related stories as possible and read through them all. But, as you might know, people tend to add a lot of extraneous details when it comes to stories about themselves. For stories that have been clearly exaggerated or altered, I must gather other related stories and information as cross-references. This way, I can filter out all the absurd and exaggerated details and restore the person's life to its true nature. Only in true stories can you find the authentic spirit. And this is the only way for the spirit to become an ancient name that matches its essence.
And thus you are something of a historian. You likely know more about Natlan's history than the vast majority of its populace do. Quite impressive.
We've heard about the concept behind ancient names before, but after hearing you explain the details, I can't help but think that ancient names are really powerful.
If only they could be even more powerful. Then we might have an easier time defeating the Abyss. It's merely to name one possibility.
Well, no matter how powerful ancient names could be, they would never be able to suddenly turn into a blade or allow you to smash through an entire cliff in one punch. It's just a form of spiritual power that's passed down from generation to generation. It doesn't have those kinds of physically tangible effects. Well, take your own names, for example. From the moment you appeared in this world, some person had already prepared a blessing for you. And that person then condensed this blessing into your name and gave it to you as a gift. It may feel like the moment you received your name is already in the past, but it will always stay with you and move with you in the future. Names are blessings for the future from people standing in the past. Well, that's what Auntie once told me. And with this blessing, people will become more confident as they walk into their future. To put it another way, it's like having a lamp in your hand as you walk through the darkness of night.
Oh, Paimon gets that. If you're alone when you're walking in the dark, it's easy to get scared and tired quickly. But if someone else is walking with you, then it won't be nearly as scary. And, well, you might still get tired, but it'll still be a whole lot better than walking alone. The Traveler always has Paimon by his side, though, so he'll never have to worry about that. Oh, Paimon sure many wish they could be in your shoes, Traveler.
Please. You're always the one to get tired when we're on the road.
Paimon's always flying! Of course it gets tiring! But we're getting off topic. We can talk about that later.
Try not to fall asleep on me next time.
Anyway, this is what Clisoli told me when I was training as a name engraver. And to be honest, I've only understood 20% of what she said at most. I've never been able to figure out the rest.
But doesn't that mean you basically don't get it?
Well, that's not entirely true. Auntie and I have at least come to a consensus on the most important thing. You know what? I am sick of talking. We can talk about all of this later. Please, wait a moment while I grab my things.
Yes, you have to navigate the minefield that is your, workshop, apparently. Xilonen opens the door and walks into her workshop. Some unsettling crashing sounds come from the workshop, followed by some agonizing creaks and squeaks. Eventually, Xilonen rushes out the door with a box in her arms. She then turns around and kicks the door closed, shutting the sound of dusty books falling to the ground inside.
Did you hear a whole section of something collapse in there just now?
It's fine, it's fine. It was just a bunch of very old ancient name records. I've already made copies of them. I, kept this set of phlogiston wedges in the back, so it wasn't easy to take out. I had to resort to brute force. Come on, let's go disassemble the central inscription. It shouldn't take long.
Well, I leave that matter to you. It is your field of expertise, after all.
Here we are. This is the place.
This cliff is pretty high. What are we going to do here? Are we going to climb to the very top and then throw this inscription down the cliff?
We're disassembling it, Paimon, not destroying it.
I'm going to use phlogiston to make an engraving circle on the cliff wall. That will allow me to investigate the internals of the central inscription. Now let me see if this thing can even turn on. I was still an apprentice last time I used it. before we attempt to engrave the inside pattern of an ancient name with phlogiston, we always use this to draw out the engraving diagram on a cliff or open ground. Only after we've confirmed that phlogiston can flow properly through the internal engravings can we start formally working on the small internal engravings of the ancient name. If we want to dismantle the central inscription in a non-destructive manner, we'll have to use this thing. I really don't want to engrave such a large diagram with my bare hands.
Oh, so you'll be able to see what it looks like on the inside without ruining Tlasoli's inscription?
For the most part. If it were just an ordinary unfinished ancient name piece, I'd just take it apart and pour phlogiston into the internal engravings to see everything. But since it's a central inscription, it would be better not to destroy the blessing that Auntie has prepared for Nechka.
So, Xilonen, does this central inscription fall under the 20% you understand about ancient names, or the other 80% you don't understand?
There's an 80% chance that it's part of the 20%. Ay, is he deliberately trying to confuse both me and Paimon with this? Moving on.
Oh, don't worry. As I said, Auntie and I share an understanding of the most important principle, which is names are intrinsically valuable. Only by having names can things be sorted and categorized. They allow the world to become more orderly and identifiable. For example, when I order ore, I would usually say I need volcanic crystals of about 35% purity and no more than 3% of impurities. Without specific names, I would only be able to go to the ore merchant and say, I want this and this. No, this isn't it. That one. No, not that one either. Yeah, you see what I mean? Names are a crucial part of how we standardize our workflow. Without names, the work would be impossible.
So you're talking about it from a technical perspective.
Yes, because forging ancient names is first and foremost a technical job. There's no debating that. As for the question of why it's important, as long as it does not affect your ability to perform your work, you'll gradually understand it as you put the process into practice.
You really care about efficiency above all else.
After all, creating an ancient name is quite the complicated process. Well, let me break it down even further. We're not in the tribe right now anyway. Essentially, by forging ancient names, I'm assigning nicknames to the heroes in Natlan's history. Giving someone a name is a subjective expression. You just need to express your hopes and wishes for them. But giving someone a nickname is a much more objective expression. To come up with a fitting and accurate nickname requires much thought and observation. If ancient names or nicknames aren't descriptive enough, no one will remember them anyway. So the best I can do is gather all the information I could and try to come up with the most fitting nicknames possible. Even a minor mistake in the process could cause people to misunderstand the nickname. For a name engraver such as myself, such mistakes would be considered a major blunder.
See? Your nicknames need more thought and observation, Paimon.
Paimon isn't trying to come up with a nickname for Xilonen. Besides, all of Paimon's nicknames have been very descriptive. Everyone can remember them.
Phew. Now I'm curious. Why don't you, come up with one for me?
Oh, I don't. I would have tried to stop you from asking that, but it's too late now.
Are you serious?
Of course. This is also my line of work, you know. Go ahead.
Oh dear.
A nickname? Xilonen. Well, she uses phlogiston to forge weapons and make names for others.
You'd better make it a good one.
Smith?
Yeah, not bad. And quite fitting, too. I'll remember it.
It's just... ugh. You know, this is kind of how last names came to be a thing. John Smith is one of the most generic-sounding names in history, precisely because it derived from the notion of someone being a smith, a blacksmith usually, and the name of their occupation becoming their last name. Ugh. So now we're going with Xilonen Smith, aren't we? Honestly, I would prefer a much more creative last name myself. Because of course, not all last names are simply the job description of somebody or their family.
But, you should keep observing my work, Paimon. Maybe you'll come up with an even better nickname. Right, okay. Time to make like a smith and start smithing. Watch closely.
Okay.
Bring it! Adjust the inclination by 2 degrees. Stop. The error margin is within an acceptable amount, but I'll extend the inscription link a little more just to be safe. I'll leave some space here. When the linked engravings are activated, the inscriptions here will overlap with each other. And there! That should complete the flow.
Looks vaguely like an arrow.
Amazing, Xilonen! You were running all over that cliff as if it was flat ground!
Is that a power common to the Children of Echoes? Or is that unique to you?
Oh no, it doesn't have anything to do with my tribe. It's just the phlogiston adhesive I have on my shoes. But after all that running around, I'll have to infuse them with more phlogiston again. Huh. I should prepare a spare supply of phlogiston to bring with me next time.
Don't tell me you've actually already covered head to toe in work equipment.
More or less, yeah. I usually have at least the key equipment on hand. I can show them to you when we next find the time, but let's get to work first. Let me see. Start with Anchor 1 and activate it with Density 3 phlogiston.
Whoa! A super huge diagram just appeared! Fasoli's central inscription is even floating!
And I can't help but notice that it looks a bit like graffiti. Like the other artwork all over the place. After some time, the blasts of phlogiston cease, and the central inscription returns to Xilonen's hands.
So are you done checking the inscriptions,
Oh.
Xilonen?
What? Oh, really? And the server has wigged out on me. Crap. Well, we'll see if this pans out on its own. If not, I might have to stop recording for a bit. We shall see. Yes, and in the background, Nuvalette is just having a drink. Oh, disconnected. Connection timed out. Okay, well. I guess I'm gonna have to get back to you guys in a bit. Yeah.